Hello everybody, my name is Jeff Rayne and I'm back again with Rayne'S reviews. Griffin is no longer with us, so it'll just be me and provided maybe one day different collaborators on these videos. So this week I went and saw Captain America the Winter Soldier. It was a really, really, really good movie. First thoughts are that I was really expecting a lot from this, and you know what, it delivered. I won't lie, I'm a bigger fan of Thor 2 because I more followed the Thor comics than I did the Captain America comics. I wasn't a Captain America fan of the comics. I've never even read them, so if I get some of this stuff wrong, you people gotta forgive me, or you can just, comment down there and call me how much of a jerk I am for reviewing a movie I know nothing about the source material. But either way, let's jump on in. Captain America the Winter Soldier. I went to this movie opening night. I actually cosplayed it as the Winter Soldier, as you can tell the hair. I had the mask, the glasses, which you can see at a group called Chatoonie. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, but it's ChatTooine. They're a cosplay group that I just found out about recently, and I joined them, which was my first cosplaying experience as the Winter Soldier, or first cosplaying experience really in general, except for some steampunk about 2 times before. But this is my first actual, real character that's, I have to kind of live up to. And they treated me with open arms. They were just some of the nicest people I've ever met. Really friendly, really outgoing, and quite a real good group to be a part of, I guess. Now, you can see the pictures online. You can go to Facebook, chatoonie.com. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on their website. Just look them up if you're into cosplay. They're a real good group. But getting back to the movie, I enjoyed the Winter Soldier character. The previews I saw, I thought this guy was going to be the protagonist of the movie, but he wasn't. He was just a glorified henchman, which the way they did it, I really enjoyed, but at the same time, I was like, wow, they just have him in like 15-20 minutes of the movie, yet in the preview, he's the focus. In the trailers, you see him as the main focus, which he's not at all. Which I kind of like and I kind of don't. And I'll explain through this review why I do and don't. The movie itself was wow. If you want action, if you want great, I guess, political drama, it was really surprising how political this was. I saw them talk about before, like I've seen, trailers and interviews and stuff, but I didn't think it would really be that political, being a superhero movie, but it was. It was following S.H.I.E.L.D. as it was kind of breaking down, and through the movie you find out that S.H.I.E.L.D., spoilers everybody, if I don't say it at the beginning, I'm sorry, this review will be spoilers. It says at the bottom down there, hopefully, down there it says Rayne'S Reviews, spoilers, Captain America 2, if I'm smart enough to put that on there, right? But this movie it was very well done. You've got Chris Evans returning as Captain America, you've got Scarlett Johansson returning as Black Widow, and you have Samuel L. Jackson returning as Nick Fury. You have Anthony Mackie as the Falcon, which I thought was an original character, and then I found out later on that he's in one of the later Captain America series. So he was created by Stan Lee and them, but I guess he wasn't prominent for a while. But the guy Anthony Mackie did this movie well. I mean, all 4 of these together as a group. Well, there's one more, but I'll get to that. The group as itself just plays off each other well. It's just each one meshes well with the other. This group could not really be the Avengers, but this group is, I think, better utilizing each other than the Avengers did. It's just which Avengers you have 5 different superheroes, whereas this is like a group. This feels more like a group, like they have worked together for years. Even though Anthony Mackie joins this way. Getting into the storyline is this: Shield is trying to stop pretty much Armageddon from happening. They're trying to prevent war from happening before war happens. And if you've seen the previews, you understand Captain America doesn't like this. He says, "So you're what's the word? You're condemning people before they're even tried," and that's not the way it should be. And I agree. But at the same time, that kind of threw me off a little bit because I've seen that before. Minority Report comes to mind. There's a few more. A couple of Tom Cruise movies seem to be like that. But however, I really felt like it was kind of fresh in this as well, though, because it was a different take to it. By stopping them, Shield was creating these 3 hovercrafts, or hover planes, or whatever you want to call them, hover carriers, that had other planes and stuff on it, to go up into the sky, and 3 of them would control weapons, like laser weapons, weapons of mass destruction, I guess, laser weapons, and they would be self-containing, never have to come down, never have to be removed. Once they were up there and not coming back down. But they had the ability to destroy the enemies of basically whoever Shield decided. So Captain America didn't like this, and he stated his problem with it, and then they sent him on a mission, as most people do. If he's causing trouble, they send him away. So him and Black Widow go after a boat that has hostages on it. They save the hostages, but it turns out that Nick Fury had sent Black Widow after intel intel for Shield instead of just trying to save the soldiers. And Captain America did not like it. He didn't like the lying. They were supposed to all be honest with each other, which Nick Fury never is. But they go on, and he comes back to Nick Fury. He finds out about the planes, not happy about it, and that's where that ends at the moment. Nick Fury then leaves and gets into his SUV, is traveling down the road, and pretty much all hell breaks loose. This movie was action-filled. If you wanted action, you got action. This movie was off-the-chain action. Just boom, bam, pa, pa, clap, clap. Anyway, he's in his SUV, and cop cars come in and slam into him, hurt him, break he dislocates his shoulder or something, and he's got the coolest SUV on earth. It's like freaking the Gadget Mobile with all the crap that comes out of this thing. So it was pretty cool on that fact. He figures way out of this, does this. The car pretty much drives itself for a little bit. He ends up meeting up with which you've seen the preview, you've seen the trailer, he ends up running into the Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan, who played Winter Soldier. And if you're a comic fan, which I know this in general, but I'm not a fan of the comic, Bucky Barnes, his friend from the first movie, if you've seen that, if you're not a fan of the comic, is the Winter Soldier. Well, you've seen the preview, he shoots the thing under the SUV and blows it up past him. Nick Fury does find a way out, though, and escapes the Winter Soldier. He keeps his mask on, his goggles on. But like I said, it's like this, and then 5 minutes of another scene, 5 minutes of another scene, 30-second backstory of Bucky, and then at the end he's about 20 minutes in it. But it's just like, they really didn't. He was a glorified henchman. I mean, he was... I kind of like what they did then. I'll explain it as I go on through. But it was just... I felt like he was underutilized for what they were portraying this movie to be. That's what really... I mean, I'm just nitpicking. That's my only gripe of this movie, because it was great. I did prefer Thor 2, but that's beside the point. This was still a really, really good movie, a good add to the Marvel Comics series. I'm just more of a fan of Thor. Going back, though, Nick Fury escapes, broken arm and something else, a couple of holes in him. Not bullet. I don't know if bullet holes go through him or not, but he got a couple bullets in him. Makes it to Captain America, Steve Rogers, Chris Evans. God's a lot of names in this movie. Makes it to him, and pretty much over a phone, like you've seen 1,000 times, says text here, but actually says something different. Ears are everywhere, and tells them basically that they're just alone, that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s compromised. So, as he's saying that, bullet holes in Nick Fury. He drops. Turns out the Winter Soldier's in like a freaking building across the street and shoots him. And then I don't know if S.H.I.E.L.D. breaks in. Yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. breaks in. They had a plant on Captain America, and she breaks in and tries to save Nick Fury. But while she's doing that, Captain America goes after the Winter Soldier, and you've seen that in the trailer as well. He runs over the roof, through buildings. I mean, my God, at the destruction. He's through this, through that, through this, through that. And that scene and a later scene, I'll mention just... when I get to that later scene, I'll mention what it is about it, but it's just got, I mean, like, destruction. Captain America goes through a wall, bounces off this window, goes through this door, goes through this thing, and ends up catching a Winter Soldier, throws his shield. You see him catch the shield, which they got a picture of me on Chat 2 looking like that, and it's freaking awesome. They did a great job. And he throws it back at Captain America and sends it back and then disappears. He goes on trying to save, they try to save Nick. Nick ends up dying. Nick Fury dies in this movie. They have talked about this. None. I don't hear nobody mentioning that he dies. And that's just, wow. It caught me off guard. I didn't see them killing a character like that this soon. Phase 2 of 3 or 4 or 5 of the Marvel Universe movies. But they killed Nick Fury. And they proceed to go back to S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm not sure exactly where Black Widow goes. I can't remember that part. But Captain America goes to see the head of Nick Fury, who is the head of the council. And one of him and 7 other members are the heads of the maybe not 7, but there's a few different members of the council. But he's one of the heads of the council, and he asks Captain America, what did he say? What did he tell him? And Captain America, of course, doesn't tell him, but he says he's Nick's friend, and he wants to know who kills him, and he wants to know who kills him. So he tells S.H.I.E.L.D. members he is withholding information, and so the head of the group with Captain America is now who plays, I can't remember his name in the movie, but it was Crossbones. If you know Crossbones in the comic, I don't know much about him, but I know that's the name they used. Crossbones takes over, and him and his group try to stop, which if you've seen the trailers again, the elevator scene. Just to say this right here, they put a lot of scenes out on YouTube, like new scene. If you watch all those new scenes like I did, you pretty much seen the first 45 minutes of this movie. I mean, it doesn't ruin the rest of the movie for you, but you pretty much seen the first 45 minutes of this movie, because that's what those are. Those are the opening scenes to that movie. Maybe a little cuts here and there, but not really much. I was like, wow, I've seen all this already. But it goes into the elevator scene where he kicks all their asses and then pops up his shield. A few more action parts go on, and this is what I'm talking about. He then, to get away from everyone, he jumps out of the window of the elevator. 30 not feet, but what do they call it, stories, 20 or 30 stories in the air, through some other windows into the ground. Now, I don't know much about the Captain America comic. I was a big fan of Red Skull, but yet I didn't really read Captain America. But is he supposed to be like the indestructible Hulk? Because, like I said, he was going through building walls and stuff earlier. I know he's superhuman strength, don't get me wrong. I know he's got that ability, but could he also drop 30 freaking 30 freaking stories and land? Not like bouncing on, just on his shield on the ground, and survives. And I mean, that just kind of seemed weird to me. I didn't remember him being so, if he could stop a 30-story drop, why would a bullet hurt him? That's just wild. I don't know. I'll get into that later. But it goes on. He escapes, but then they catch up to him and Black Widow. They both get captured, and I think they both get captured. No, all three get captured, and them two and the Falcon character who Captain America met at the Washington Monument. He was running around the pool at the Washington Monument, and Captain America proceeded to just fly past him. On your left, on your left, on your left. An ongoing joke, which really didn't catch on, but at the same time, he just kept passing him. Like, he would do one time, and Captain America done 7. Had already done 7, my bad. Sorry for my grammar. And then they proceed to go they get captured, they go into this armored car. 2 soldiers in the back, one stun guns the other one, and it turns out it's Kobe Smulders from Kobe Smulders from How I Met Your Mother, Maria Hill. I had to look it up. I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta look it up. Maria Hill. She Marla. Maria Hill, who is from the first movie, been in Avengers and a couple others. She is the other member that I was mentioning from earlier. She joins them, so it's Captain America, Maria Hill, Black Widow, Falcon, played by Anthony Mackie, and Captain America, and Nick Fury, who is really still alive. Hurt still, but still alive. He then says that we got to get back in there. It turns out, they end up going to an area that had the doctor from the first movie, the rat face with the goggles kind of doctor for the first movie. He put his body died, but his mind he set to a computer, which it's a Marvel movie, so I can understand that. But he tells them pretty much all the exposition they need to know. Hydra was not destroyed. That Hydra had seeped its way into S.H.I.E.L.D. and grown with S.H.I.E.L.D. over the years. So basically S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra are the same thing. And half the members of S.H.I.E.L.D. are still true to S.H.I.E.L.D., half the members of S.H.I.E.L.D. are true to Hydra. So Captain America decides to give orders to Nick Fury. He says, no, we're not taking down Hydra. We're taking down Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. They both must die. So they proceed to make a plan. They take these 3 microchips and they're going to put them in each plane to stop them from happening, because the helicopter planes, the helicarriers, or whatever they want to call them, that are going up, I said, if they put these in, they can't stay up there. They can't go up there, because if they do, they will kill millions of people. Hydra's plan, chaos, obedience through chaos. So they basically kill millions to control billions. And Captain America just didn't want this to happen, so they proceed to tell them that they proceed to put, if they put those in, they'll stop that. So they set the plan in motion. Black Widow kind of disappears for a while. Captain America goes after one of the planes. Falcon goes after the other plane. Nick Fury goes to see the head of the council, which is Alexander Pierce, played by Robert Redford, who did a great job as well as the villain. He's the main protagonist. It's not the Winter Soldier. And you see, so far, I've not really mentioned the Winter Soldier in a while because he really hasn't been there. They did a scene with him and Robert Redford where he smacks him and he's like, "You're not, what's wrong with him? Wipe him clean. He don't need to know who he really is." So he wipes him clean again. And and it's just like, wow, that's just a scene there. Just to have there. Just have Winter Soldier make a return. Well, they proceed to do all that. Nick Fury gets to the council later. He proceeds to kill the rest of the council members and I think he has a gun on Nick Fury. It might have been his group had a gun on Nick Fury. 3 or 4 other S.H.I.E.L.D. / Hydra henchmen that are there. And it's just him, one female member of the council who didn't fight back. I guess a lawyer type guy, or another council member who was played by the guy that if you remember Batman Rises, The Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight, he was the guy that Batman brought back from Japan, which was kind of cool seeing him in it, but they didn't use him for nothing. He was just kind of there. And that happens there. Captain America gets the microchip in the first plane, so it stops. Falcon gets the second one in the second plane, so it stops. But all this time is action, 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 action. So I mean, it's not just that's quick. It's just like wow, it's some of the stuff you watch here. I watched it 3D. 2D probably would have been just as fine. I didn't notice much 3D in it. Maybe one or two scenes was poignant in 3D, but it's not worth the money if you do it. 2D conversion. Movies that are converted to 3D, not really that great. Movies that are filmed in 3D, watch them. The Wizard of Oz movie, the Oz the Great and Powerful was not that great a movie, but you know what? It was filmed in 3D and it was beautiful. The 3D was beautiful in it. I'll say that. Getting back to this. Where did I leave off? Oh, so they've got two of the planes locked in. All Shield has to do is get all the group has to do is get the other one down. Well, that's when the Return of the Winter Soldier appears. He proceeds to stop Roy Rogers as best he can, and in doing so, shoots Captain America 3 or 4 times. I mean, shoots him. I don't mean like, oh, in the arm, in the leg. No, chest wounds in this, spit up blood in this. It was like, wow, they are shooting the piss out of Captain America. And while doing this, Captain America finally gets the thing in the when the destruction's going on around him, a metal falls on the Winter Soldier and it pins him down. Captain America then proceeds to put the chip in, stopping the plane, and as it's coming down, switches back to Nick Fury and the council member and the lawyer, or the other council member, whatever he was, and the council member is about to be shot, and she proceeds to kick the crap out of all the little henchmen he's got with him, and Alexander Pierce, the main council member, Alexander Pierce, Robert Redford, because lo and behold, take off the digital mask, it's really Black Widow. And I think Nick Fury has a gun and shoots the council member, or shoots Robert Redford. It might have been her, but they end that tyranny and switch back to the Winter Soldier and Captain America. After doing that, after getting shot up like crazy, he goes down there and tries to help. Shot up like crazy, breathing blood, can barely move, but he can lift this metal object off of the Winter Soldier. That's like huge. I mean, it's Superman lifting. You know what I mean? So indestructible. make it, people. I'll give you a license. I'll give you the license, Marvel. The indestructible Captain America. Turn him green. I don't care. Give Greece a green America suit. There you go. Make him Irish. But he lifts it up, and as he lifts it up, the Winter Soldier's still not knowing if he's Bucky or what he is. Shoots Captain America again, and when he does this, Captain America falls out of the plane, hits the water underneath, and sinks. The plane goes down, I guess, with the Winter Soldier still there. He kind of got out of it, he jumped out of it, I guess. But I can't remember exactly what they did with him. But you don't see him get destroyed, of course. They go later on to a scene, and it's actually Bucky / Winter Soldier dragging out Captain America from underneath the water, still unconscious, dead as far as I can tell. But apparently he lived. So now you've got, during all that, you've got the group of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Hydra group going at each other. Agent 13, who in the comic I hear is supposed to be the love interest that Captain America had in the past. It's supposed to be her niece or daughter or something. Is S.H.I.E.L.D. side against the Hydra side. It's like you either with us or against us. So pretty much all the group inside the tower are attacking one another. So her and Crossbones go at it for a little while, but you know, obviously he gets out of it. That he's alive, but I think severely burned is what they did to him. I don't know if that has to do with the Crossbones character or not, but they kind of left him alive. But of course, Shield takes back over. But they end up just pretty much disbanding shit, I guess. At the end, you see Samuel Jackson. You see Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury, Captain America, the Falcon, who he was great side character. He was funny, and he had great lines. I'll give you an example. When they find Nick Fury alive, he says, "Who are you?" And Anthony Mackie goes, "I'm just like him, only slower." So he delivers some good lines in this. But him and Black Widow and all them, they end up giving all of Shield's pretty much putting over the internet, trending everything, letting everyone know what's going on. That, you know, any of those secrets they have is out there now. So she has to go and find a new identity, basically, is what she's got to do. So they're all standing over Nick Fury's grave. So just Nick Fury's like, let him be dead. Takes the eye thing off and puts sunglasses on instead. He goes to Europe, asking them to go with him, but of course they don't. So he goes himself, still trying to help people, I guess. Black Widow goes to find herself. I'm not sure what they told what Falcon's story was. He might have ended up with Captain America, but they just kind of fade to black on that one, I guess. But they each go the wrong way, and that's how it kind of ends. And then the last scene after the beginning credits, which we all know, has Stephen Strange, which if any of you know, Doctor Strange, whose actual movie is in development as we speak, talking about different things, and he ends up coming up on two twins, which anybody who's read the comics as well knows that was Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch. So we'll see what they're going to do with that. I'm not sure if they're going to be... I think those two are supposed to be in the Age of Ultron, and Doctor Strange is in his own movie, but they might be in the Doctor Strange movie. We'll see what happens there. But if they're... we'll see. We'll see. And then after the credits was another scene, which they had a monument to Captain America, like a museum thing, and Bucky was there on the screen thing, his own little thing, like Bucky was his friend. He died during this time, and it shows in a hat Bucky looking at and reading about his own past, and then it fades to black. I really think they're going to try to... Bucky becomes Captain America, people. Spoilers again. In the comic, he becomes Captain America when Steve Rogers dies, which I thought they was kind of doing when they sent Steve Rogers down in the river, but I guess not. But I just don't see that character, that the actor. He's a good actor, Sebastian Stan. I saw him as the Mad Hatter in Once Upon a Time, and he did a decent job, but I still see him as Captain America. But time will tell. Maybe I'll change my mind. But I do like what they did with the character. He was a glorified henchman, but they left it open for him to even have his own movie, maybe. And if people really connect to that character, which I hope they do, because pretty much I cosplayed as him during that event, and a lot of people liked it, and I know I did, because, you know, I already had the hair for it. Had to buy everything else, but I got the hair. Wish I had the six-pack and the muscles, but that's beside the point. But all in all, I like what they're doing with that character. They really play Captain America up very well as you know, he's powerful. I mean, this was a political thriller, great action movie, great drama, funny at points. The camaraderie between these actors playing the roles was amazing. They were just one after the other on top of it. It was acted very well for, you know, people talk about comic book movies aren't acted very well. This was amazingly acted well. This could have been if you take away the action and the superhero abilities, this could be a political thriller. That's how well it was, and I would watch it any day of the week. It was great. I give this movie a high rating, because if you're a fan of the comic book series, if you're a fan of political dramas, I think you might like this movie. having said that, I look forward to the next ones. And look forward to working with that group again, Chatooine. Maybe for X-Men Days of Future Past, cosplay is. I'd like to do a Gambit cosplay. Not movie Gambit, but 90s cartoon Gambit. We'll see what happens. But I enjoyed this review. I'm sorry I haven't done any for you in a while because just life kind of happened. Griffin's no longer with the company, so it'll just be me and possibly more collaborators. Hopefully, maybe some people from the group would like to collaborate. The group again is Chatooine, ChatOoine. Look them up on Facebook. Look them up on their webpage. Just chatooine.com. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And if you'd like to see anything else or any other reviews or maybe older movie reviews, I'm considering doing a show about the movies I loved in the past. I like that guy with the glasses.com, Nostalgia Critic. I don't want to do that kind of past review. I would just like to do different things and try some new things. So if you got any ideas, shoot them my way. Thank you. Have a good day.